asked to pray regularly to be saved from the punishment of hell. At the same time, we are praying to be saved from the punishment in the grave. Why is it at two stages at two different places? Does it mean that the grave mentioned here is something other than the material grave where people are being buried?
Well, right. It is so obvious very angry. You know that Quran has spoken on this subject, written on this subject, so has every sacrifice person. So it should be a common knowledge with every Ahmadi that whenever grave is mentioned in context with some punishment or some reward after death, it is not that grave that on this earth, but it is a term of Islam. And this fact is proved from many verses of the Holy Quran and many traditions of the Holy Prophet, that whatever is meant is not this grave, but a different thing. For instance, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is known to have told us that whenever some person is buried, windows open into his grave. And if he is a pious man, a window from heaven is open, and if he is an evil man, a window from hell is open, and he receives gusts of the respective natures. So obviously, whenever you dig the grave again, or due to some natural calamities, sometimes the grave throw their dead out, and sometimes due to rain, people have to open up and reset things again. So never a window has been witnessed by any man. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not be wrong. Only the understanding of the people is wrong who take him too literally. So similar evidence is abundant through inference of it, from which we can safely assert that the after death state of the spirit is not a fully developed state. As far as our consciousness is concerned, it could be a state of consciousness as compared to our consciousness. But the ultimate consciousness, the most defined type of consciousness, to which it is heading for in ultimate development, is quite a different phenomenon. You can't even conceive that such a refined consciousness could exist. So that is the difference between the final developed stage of the spirit and the stage where it starts the course of development, that is immediately after death. That period in between is called the period of grave. Now, for instance, the Holy Quran throws light on this subject at different places. Number one, the period of resurrection is, as I have told you earlier, is so far removed from this phase of human life on earth that it could be a billion years or less or more. But it's a very, very large period, big period between us and between the resurrection. And also we find that وَمَا خَلْقُكُمْ وَمَا بَعْثُكُمْ إِلَّا كَنَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ, that your life after death and your raising from the dead will be of exactly the same nature as your first birth. Now, what is the nature of the first birth? The Holy Quran again refers to this phenomena by inviting our attention to the changes which take place within a pregnant woman's uterus. And the embryonic stage of creation is referred to in particular, and it's pointed out that see how we give different shapes to the embryo until it fully develops and becomes a child. So if you see the similarity, you begin to see the similarity between the first phase of life, creation, and the second phase of creation, you will immediately grasp the whole idea that the beginning of the fetus has in fact so far removed in quality and in shape and in essence of life as one cannot believe that this could develop into a full developed child. So that child which is born and that fetus which takes its first seed, first embryonic stage, they are so far removed that as if they don't belong to the same thing. And similarly, if there is a similarity between the first creation and the second creation, the same ratio of difference should exist between the shape of our soul immediately after death and the shape of our soul at the time of resurrection. The ratio should be constant in both cases. Otherwise there could be a similarity. Ma khalqukum wa ma ba'thukum illa ka nafsin wahida. Allah tells us that your first creation and your second creation are to be studied like the phenomena of a single birth on earth. If you study that phenomena, nafsin wahida's creation, single person's birth, then you will understand both the phenomena. So as we know already what happens during this phenomena of individual creation, we should also realize what may happen after death. And the first lesson one gets is that after death, the spirit would be so crude in its form as if it has no bearing and no relationship to the shape it will have developed into at the time of resurrection. So that period of development is called grave. And again, why it is called grave? Because again it has a similarity of the child within the woman's tomb or uterus. Because it is also like a grave. Everything which is developing in there is developing in layer after layer of pouches, and whatever is imprisoned there is in a state very similar to that which you can visualize would be in the grave. So that similarity continues to hold in every respect. So the period of grave is a very long period of the development of soul until the soul is ready to take a new birth, and that birth would be close to the time of resurrection. And the time of resurrection, I said close, maybe I should have said at the time of resurrection. But that day of resurrection should be conceived as a very big period. People think that everything will happen within the day of which we have here. For billions of people to have been examined and to have been rewarded according to their own actions, that 12-hour day is not enough. It's enough for God, but not for the people to understand what's happening. So the phenomenon which is described in the Holy Quran positively refers to a day of much longer duration. Could be a day which has been described in the Holy Quran as comprising 50,000 years. So in a period of 50,000 years, soul will be taking shape The earlier souls perhaps will be taking shape earlier, or maybe those who are pious men, their souls would develop earlier than everybody else's, and so on and so forth.
One elucidation, sir. One elucidation I was really good. My notion, according to the inference from the Quran, the evolution of man's species from when he was a clod of earth and all that development described in the Quran, in my view it is similar as it takes place, or was similar as it takes place in the embryo, in the 9 months and then it says, you have mentioned, for the story to develop from the day of death to resurrection, and will be sold from the day of resurrection to infinity, will also be developing in the same stages.
That I already said.
Yes.
That I have already said when I referred to the second verse of the Holy Quran.
Yes.
Kaifa Yusawirukum or Yusawirukum? What is the exact verse? Fil Arham. Kaifa, is it in Ghaib? क्योंकि हाफिज़ है युसव्विरुकुम है ना, ये युसव्विरुकुम फिल अरहाम में क्या परिशा? God gives you different shapes in the uterus as He pleases, and the attention of man is drawn to this phenomena. Now this is a very strange thing when you consider the time of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then it looks so strange that such a verse should have ever occurred in the Holy Quran. Because to open the uterus and to see how different shapes are given to the uterus was something inconceivable in that time. It only became conceivable when the surgery developed into the present form of surgery. And previous to this, there was no concept of the uterus being the place or arena of the unfolding of the phenomena of evolution. That is exactly what has been referred to in the Holy Quran by the verse Yusawwirukum kayfa fil arham kayfa yasha. Because Darwin particularly pointed out to this fact. He said that millions or billions of years of evolution is repeated in miniature in the uterus of woman. And right from the earliest stages of development up to the final stages of man, whatever various species or order he has been through are repeated in very short terms, but a whole film of evolution is being unfolded in the uterus. And that is exactly what the Holy Quran is telling us. And when it says that if you want to understand the phenomena of resurrection or your second birth, second creation, we refer the first creation. We refer you to the first creation. Study that phenomena, and if you understand that phenomena, then it will be easier for you to understand the phenomena of the next creation. And that is kanafsin wahida, like the creation of a single person. That perhaps I didn't elaborate at that time. This is why you had to ask this question.